Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Preston Endress. Fire crews responded to the Boscov's department store in the Laurel Mall on Tuesday after employees reported flickering lights and smoke. Officials say about 30 employees were evacuated from the store during the incident, but that the mall itself remained open. Following an investigation, fire crews have reported that the incident was caused by a dead squirrel. Fire investigators say that the squirrel shorted out a main electrical supply line and caused the electrical motors to overheat. No fire was present at the scene. Crews say the Boscov store was closed for 3 hours as officials investigated the scene. The store reopened around 1 p.m. A man was arrested in Hazel Township on Wednesday for chasing a family with a machete at the Churchill Mall. According to state police, troopers had been patrolling the area of North Church Street near the Churchill Mall around 1 a.m. when they observed a female standing in the center of the travel lane waving her hands and crying. Troopers say the female said her son and daughter were currently being chased by a man wearing a mask and swinging a machete. Troopers then watched as the female's daughter ran into the nearby Taco Bell and the employees locked all the surrounding doors behind her. As troopers searched the area, they say a juvenile male came running towards them and said he had been slashed by the unidentified masked man. The masked man was soon located in a nearby alley and was identified as Anthony Joshua Brotzman. At the time of his arrest, troopers say Brotzman had a mask in one hand and a machete in the other. Brotzman had been charged with aggravated assault, terroristic threats, and simple assault among other charges in connection with the incident. The West Hazleton Fire Department responded to a vehicle fire on Interstate 81 on Tuesday. According to officials, crews were called to the scene on mile marker 145 around 2 a.m. Upon arriving at the scene, crews say they found an SUV well involved. It is unknown at this time if any injuries were sustained in the blaze. Coming up on WYLN News, Bloomsburg police investigate a hit and run. Plus, PennDOT announces lane restrictions on Interstate 81. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Wyln. Tomorrow is sunny.
Weather Kids is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. Your health deserves a partner.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today. If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Cheers Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in at 610 North Broad Street in West Hazleton, 570-454-7229. Cheers is proud to be celebrating 70 years in business.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update, posted daily between noon and 2 p.m., powered by Lehigh Valley Health Network. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner.
Welcome back to WYLN News. Bloomsburg police are investigating a reported hit-and-run incident on Monday. According to police, the incident took place along the 900 block of West Main Street near Fort McClure Boulevard when a motorcycle was struck around 10:30 p.m. Police say a male and female rider were taken into the hospital with unknown injuries. The white or silver Jeep Cherokee Laredo shown on screen is believed to have been involved in the incident. Anyone with information regarding the case is asked to contact Bloomsburg Police at 570-784-6300. PennDOT has announced that the lane restrictions will be in place on Interstate 81 northbound for the remainder of the week. According to officials, the lane restrictions will extend from the Dorrance exit 155 to the Highland Park Boulevard exit 168. Crews will be working on the shoulder cutting and patching from Wednesday, June 26 through Tuesday, July 2nd. The work will take place from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. When encountering a work zone, drivers are reminded to drive the posted speed limit, turn on their headlights, and pay close attention to signs and flaggers. District 18 Little League Major Baseball for ages 10 to 12 will continue this week on Friday at 6 p.m. with the last 4 unbeaten teams remaining in the tournament. Valley East will be hosting Valley West in drums, and Hazleton will be traveling to Weisport to take on Franklin Township. Coming up on Shenandoah's News Choice, Chris Fulmer leads us down the path through history with Port Carbon Part 3. Plus, we learn about 4th of July safety on Wellness Wednesday. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Renai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600. WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
Attention WYLN viewers, WYLN TV can now be seen on the Hazleton Service Electric Cablevision HD tier, channel 507, and over the air at 35.1. WYLN, we're your local network.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. I end up going to a dentist and he wants to charge over $600 for a night guard. That's when I found this, the Brooks Night Guard. This was a game changer. It's smaller than other night guards that I tried, which is a good thing because it doesn't make me gag. It could fit on the top or the bottom of the teeth. It's lightweight and super comfortable. Now the Brooks Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brooks Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to brooksnightguard.com and order yours today. Your teeth will thank you for it in the morning.
Go to brooksnightguard.com and use the promo code to activate your special TV offer. That's brooksnightguard.com. Order today and take advantage of this special TV offer. Your teeth will thank you for it in the morning.
Hi everybody, I'm Dr. John. This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic. Araceli was in a terrible accident. She was in so much pain when she first came here. I'm sure she was afraid, don't hurt me. So tune in on the show and listen to her story of how chiropractic is helping her to get back to normal life again.
As the 20th century dawned, Port Carbon would see the birth of one of its landmark businesses, courtesy of Henry L. Miller. Originally from Orwigsburg and initially a timber baron, Miller came to Port Carbon in 1902. 2 years later, he would open, with several partners, the Superior Knitting Mill on First Street, which made underwear. By 1914, Miller was ready to strike out on his own. Forming a new partnership with his son John J. Miller, he would open a new brick building on South Cole Street. The new underwear business, operating as H.L. Miller & Son, would rapidly take off, becoming one of the biggest textile plants in a county where the industry thrived. Even during downtimes, Miller's factory would offer widespread employment opportunities for area residents over the decades. Miller did not stop with his underwear factory either, establishing the Pottsville Bleach and Dye Company across the street from it in 1909. True to its name, its workers bleached and dyed garments at the factory. Both companies would serve the community for close to 90 years before the internationalization of the garment industry and stricter environmental laws and union regulations would prove their downfalls. Both H.L. Miller & Son and Pottsville Bleach and Dye closed in 1999, although the Miller plant is still in use today as the Alpha Mills Corporation. And the Miller family's legacy lives on in Port Carbon today, as the town playground on the east side of the community is named in honor of John J. Miller's son John L. Miller, who died young in 1963. By Memorial Day 1905, the Civil War had been over for 40 years. The wounds the conflict had unleashed, however, still simmered under the surface at times, and they would come to a head in Port Carbon on this day. The conduit for the incident would be Miss Nellie Matthews, who had come from North Carolina to visit her sister, who was the wife of Dr. T.F. Hebner. In preparation for the town's Memorial Day parade, she chose to hang the Confederate Stars and Bars flag out of the house's third-floor window, above the American flag already hanging there. Horrified to see the flag of secession flying in the north, the neighbors quickly notified Mayor Wagner, who made haste to the Hebner house. He requested Miss Matthews take the flag down, but she firmly refused. Before things could go further, however, a drumbeat heralded the arrival of scores of Port Carbon Civil War veterans, members of the local Allison Brothers Grand Army of the Republic Post. Marching in formation up Pike Street to the Hebner house with the stars and stripes at their head, they made an angry demand to Miss Matthews. If she did not immediately remove the flag they had fought against in the battlefield 40 years prior, they would shoot it down themselves. Matthews quickly complied with their demand, and the former Union veterans dispersed without incident. A year later, on July 4, 1906, many of the same veterans would meet again in town for a much less stressful purpose, the dedication of Port Carbon's Soldiers' Monument. Made by the Monument Bronze Company of Connecticut, which made many Civil War memorials for both the North and South, the monument stood 22 feet high, topped by a 6-foot soldier, and featured outside the Civil War campaigns that Port Carbon's sons had fought in 40 years prior. The ceremony featured a massive parade, said to have been the largest in Port Carbon's history, which wound its way up what was then called Goat Hill, but would thereafter be known as Monument Hill. Numerous speeches by prominent dignitaries, among them James B. Riley and John L. Grimm, followed before the monument was formally unveiled. Today, the Soldiers' Monument still stands tall over Port Carbon, giving silent honor to all who served in both the Civil War and, by extension, all wars since.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN. Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35. Come Come shoot at Whitetail Preserve, 118 Boulevard Road in Bloomsburg. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicapped accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 or 570-790-8969. Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
Hi, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Lisa Marie, and the 4th of July is right around the corner, and we want to give you some tips on having a fun and safe 4th of July. So again, we are here with our wonderful Dr. Kira Weaver from our emergency department. She's our medical director and just so knowledgeable with so many different things, and you see a lot in the emergency room. So everyone's going to be looking forward to celebrating the 4th of July, the summer season in general. So let's talk about what of the things that you see coming in there that in the emergency department that probably can be avoided if people educate themselves a little bit more about things.
Yeah, so I think over the holiday weekend, we see, a lot of kind of orthopedic injuries in various forms. And then we'll talk about like things like bicycles, ATVs, like your summertime injuries in general from recreation, starting off with like ortho. So we see a lot of like things like fractures, sprains. We see firework accidents, of course. Particularly hand injuries can be common around this time of year. Burns is another thing with with using fireworks, sparklers. And so we see, those type of injuries present to the emergency department. Other things that we see, with having, increased recreation, because in this area with camping, hiking, being outside, pools, things like that, you can see, between bicycle accidents, ATV accidents, a lot of it, related to not using helmets.
I was just going to say, a lot of people don't want to wear the helmet, and really they should. Right?
Yeah. And so, definitely we see that share of, injury during this time of year.
So, what are some of the things we could do to safely, I know people want to use sparklers. They sell them out there. It's not like they're not available to us, unfortunately. But like you said, you're seeing burns. You're seeing, I don't know if appendages or anything like that. But what type of things could us as parents and adults teach our children and avoid so you don't see them?
I avoid giving very young children sparklers because of the fact they can cause, pretty significant burns. It's neat if you want to show them, have like as the adult, but don't let them handle it. If you feel like that's something you want to do, older children, obviously teach them about how to properly use it, use it in a safe manner, make sure they understand they shouldn't just run around the yard with it, or they could trip, fall, things like that. That could be potentially dangerous. But avoiding it, particularly in young children, is key because they don't understand. It's very pretty, it's really neat to look at, but it can cause a lot of harm. And, if it gets close to the face, for example, can cause, pretty significant burns.
Yeah. And I love the glow sticks. I mean, I think that's cool. They can run around with glow sticks and have the same effect, if you will, in a safe way, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So, once again, pool season. What do you see some of the things that are happening around the pool? I guess people are drinking, they're running, they're, not paying attention, drownings, different things like that, right?
Right. So the big thing, particularly once again with younger children, supervision around pools is really paramount, for a few reasons. One is, kids don't view water necessarily as dangerous, but young children especially, it doesn't take very long for a child to drown.
Right.
And so drinking around pools as adults can be problematic even if you're not in the water,
right.
although alcohol and water often do not mix in the sense of swimming pools. But it's really important to supervise your child, and so to do that, to be sober, be paying attention, not be staring at your cell phone when the kids are around the water, for a few reasons, because you could turn your back for a split second and the next thing the child is in the pool, and when they're very young, they just don't have the swimming skills yet, so that's where it's really, really important. Running around pools, all ages, definitely discouraged. You have concrete, around most in-ground pools.
Right.
So, on top of the fact that, they could, sustain fractures or abrasions from skinning their knees, you hit your head, it can be very, dangerous, can cause a head injury. And then on top of it, depending on how you fall, you can have neck injuries too. So
Absolutely.
It's really, something to be really cautious, around pools, and, that concrete's a big part of that. So not a very nice surface to obviously land on.
The one thing I just recently seen was they showed an example with two children swimming underwater, and one had like a neon bathing suit and the other one had like a blue or a green one. You couldn't see the one that didn't have the neon bathing suit. So when they say about drowning and everything, and I go back to when I was young and I had an incident where it could have happened, obviously it didn't, but how scary that is, and I was very young, that people can't see if there's a child at the bottom of a pool if they're not wearing something that's more reflective or more bright and stuff like that. So I just thought that was a really interesting takeaway. Moms and dads, think about those things too.
I think that's a really good point. And I think time of day plays a role too, despite not just bathing suits, because, obviously, swimming at night, if there's not proper lighting in your pool or lighting around the pool, could be dangerous.
Right.
Because of the fact that if someone does have some kind of trouble in the pool, and this can happen to anyone, right?
Absolutely.
Something could happen, someone have an emergency in a pool, you might not be visible, if you're not in a well-lit area. And then other water injuries, not related to pools, but just to kind of think about with going on the holiday weekend and camping and exploring the great outdoors, is swimming holes and places that you go to. So, you don't want to jump from heights in areas where you're not sure what that bottom is, because you may be diving or jumping into water that's shallow, and that can cause, serious injury, particularly your head, your neck, your back, and it could even cause death.
Yeah, absolutely. Great information as always. We want to see you have a wonderful summer season, holiday season. Be healthy, be safe, and thanks for watching Wellness Wednesday.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.